insert. What's going on? It's your man Diamond K in here. The all-new RadioOnFire.com and On Fire Television. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, this debate about abortion has been ongoing for all of my life. Abortions in Texas can now resume under a federal judge's ruling that went down yesterday. Now, for how long is this going to be in effect? Because this is a political, what they call football. A conservative federal appeals court and ultimately the court, Supreme Court, may have to take a more skeptical look at this very controversial issue. A look at the Biden administration's lawsuit over Texas's 6-week abortion ban. So folks have been debating about this. And for over a month, this very controversial Republican abortion ban. I'm going to call it abortion ban because, essentially that's what it was. The state law prohibited abortions once heart activity had been detected. Once the cardiac activity, 6 weeks. Now, this ban had been in effect for more than 1 month. You had a lot of upset people. You had a lot of people on the other side that were happy about it. U.S. District Judge Robert Pittman temporarily blocked it in a very well thought out, very well sourced 113-page ruling. It found the law violates a woman's right to an abortion. A fellow journalist told me she was tired of men telling women what to do with their bodies. I told her that I understood, and I do understand this. It is kind of ironic that so many men are ruling on what happens to the bodies of women. So the legal fight over this law at this point isn't really focused on abortion rights. Rather, it's focused on who has the ability to mount a legal challenge to it and what a court can do. So, the controversial part about this abortion ban that was rolled out in Texas, it essentially put a bounty out there, a $10,000 bounty. So somebody that had nothing to do with the abortion, they didn't even have to live in the state of Texas. They could sue folks that had something to do with helping the person get the abortion. They couldn't sue the person who got the abortion, but they could sue the Uber driver, the doctor, somebody who gave money, somebody who performed the abortion. And this type of incentive, if you will, caused the abortion clinics in Texas to really face some very serious questions and potentially serious consequences continuing to be in business. So this has been temporarily reversed. We don't know how long this is going to last. Both the Supreme Court and the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals previously rejected pleas from abortion providers to keep the law from taking effect until the courts could make a ruling on the constitutionality of this. They didn't want to do that. And it appears that that's what's happening now. It's not clear how they would make or would rule in the new case or when they might be expected to weigh in. But this is going to happen. I don't think that this is the end of this. But for right now, Texas already has said that it will appeal the 5th Circuit and the lower courts. I mean, this is a mess. So there's almost certainly will be something that the high court will have to intervene in. The justices are going to have to make a stand. This is something that they didn't want to do. They didn't want to do it. And there's this case in Mississippi that we've been watching for. The justices are already separately hearing on that. It's a major challenge to abortion rights. So this Mississippi case could dramatically curtail a woman's right to an abortion in roughly half the states. So that case is not going to be argued until December and won't be decided until next spring. So in the meantime, Roe versus Wade and Planned Parenthood versus Casey, the court's two most significant abortion rulings, will remain in effect. Women in Texas and Mississippi, for that matter, can still get an abortion right now. Administration said that it was suing Texas because its law is clearly unconstitutional under those rulings. What's more, the administration argued Texas lawmakers wrote it in a way to evade early federal court challenges. The Republicans thought they was slick. And for a while, it appeared that they were. Private citizens, not the state, had the power to enforce this law. That's what made it tricky. That's why a lot of people thought that it was something that they couldn't get around, giving them this $10,000 bounty, this $10,000 incentive. Federal government lawsuits against the state are not common. And when they do happen, as they sometimes do in the area of voting rights, they usually are based on a provision of federal law explicitly authorizing the Justice Department to sue. So the judge in this case, Judge Pittman, laid out point by point why he felt the federal government had a claim in the case and therefore standing to file the lawsuit. The question is whether his reasoning will hold in the higher courts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire, of course. The fact that Texas has been able to end most abortions in the state, even under the current legal framework, it shows how uniquely cruel the law is. And what it does, it creates this very unique situation for the federal government to step in. Well, that is what is going on in Texas with regards to abortion. We were talking about shootings at schools in Texas. A lot of things happening in Texas right now. Administration's intervention is not the only aspect of the case. Texas is likely to challenge on appeal. It's not the only thing, right? Typically, a judge tells an attorney general or law enforcement folks, you can't enforce it. Here, this law is written in a way that bars the state from actually enforcing it. Like I said, it is slick. It is slick. The question is whether you can issue an order to other courts saying they're not allowed to hear these cases. So you have a lot of so-called smart people and actually smart people arguing these points. The little nuances, nitpicking, as my grandmother would say, nitpicking on this. a woman has a right to choose. But I do understand late-term abortions could be something that many people could be uncomfortable with. But ultimately, what is so ironic about this is the main folks that are telling people they should not get abortions are the same folks that will fight for any type of benefit from the federal government for these same people if they can't afford these babies that they're telling you that they can't afford or don't want to have. So it's like they're caught in a catch-22. Caught in a catch-22. You man Don McKay in here at the Don McKay Show at Radio on Fire, of course. The Don McKay Show is a production of Radio on Fire and On Fire Television. You can catch episodes of the show anywhere you get your podcast. YouTube.com/DJ Diamond K, of course. And the Diamond K Show is available everywhere, including the WRF Radio app. Simply download WRF Radio in your app store. Leave me a comment. You can scroll your timeline, attend a Zoom meeting on mute, send an email, do some online shopping, all while listening to the Diamond K Show. Now, here on the program, we deliver the biggest political and trending news stories of the day, with interviews and original reporting from Atlanta, Baltimore, and beyond. The show is fun, the show is upbeat, but I also have to expose what's really going on in this country, and there's a lot of things going on. Radio on Fire is Black voices giving you the American story. New episodes drop Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., but I don't want you to miss any of our live broadcasts. In addition to our 8 a.m. show, we drop content throughout the day as news happens. Hit that notification bell so you get an alert whenever we go live. And, you know, I just, this abortion thing, obviously something that's personal to me. I have, you know, I don't have any biological children. And there were times when I've had women pregnant and abortions were obtained. And when I look back on that, when I look back on those actions, I definitely feel differently about them. Sad about them. Regret, you know, all things that happen. But it is up to that person to make that decision. Now, I am pro-choice, and I do understand, as I've gotten older, I understand the position of pro-lifers. I do. But the decision is to that person. You can feel how you feel, but you can't impose your will on someone else. This is supposed to be America, people. They're supposed to have the right, the freedom. That's what we talk about all the time, right? Freedom. We talk about freedom. You cannot have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Now, if someone makes a life, the woman has the right to decide whether she carries that life. Now, when should that choice go away? I mean, 6 weeks, I think, is too early. But definitely, we're not talking about 6 months. That's definitely too late. Well, 5 months might be too late. Texas is something like 16 weeks. Yeah, so I don't know. But this is a very complicated, a very controversial topic. Something that we're going to be talking about for quite some time.